All these clones, we the original.
So, this is another episode of Erryting Kool. Different location, same person. You know what it is Lord Jaylin Willard. And today, we have a special guest on the show, one of my good friends, Mr. Kevin Strakan.
Hey, what's happening, buddy? Good morning to you all. Yes. What a beautiful morning, eh? Independence Day.
Independence morning. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
I'm telling you, come a long way.
So, me and him sat back a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, man, it'd be interesting to get you on my podcast. He has a very interesting story, like I like to hang out with a lot of older people because, older people have a lot of wisdom. And, I learned so many different things from him, from, the history of the Bahamas and, being in different, the fashion industry and the media industry and things like that. So, while we have Mr. Kevin here, let's get into, how you came about into your professional life, and we could take it from there, from the genesis, all the way to now.
Boy, it started, well, to tell you the truth, I had my beautiful niece, Teresa, Brandon, and it actually started with her. It was basically a dream to fulfill the things that she wanted to do as a child, We grew up on Market Street, and we would walk over to Long Wharf, which was a beach near Bay Street by where the construction of the Hilton.
Yeah.
And that would be our summertime, It's a quick walk, and everybody lived in the neighborhood would go there in summer. And I noticed Teresa would be able to flip backwards, to be able to do the split, to be able to do, amazing things as a young girl. You understand? As a gymnast without anybody giving her any training. You understand? And I looked at her and I said, oh, look at my niece. And of course, she was beautiful, So by the time I went off to school to New York and came back with all the education in terms of me studying criminology, forensic science, and political science, and modeling, it was the key, So I went straight into fashion with my niece, Teresa Byrne, and we started fashion shows locally throughout Nassau. She worked with Androsia. We did our designs and our sketches and so forth. So in between me traveling New York back and forth, it's just developed to become a dream that I wanted to see something like that happen in the Bahamas, So I started it. But when I first started, it was the intention of doing a modeling agency. It was an etiquette school. Because I worked with my nieces and I worked with my cousin, and they were ladies, and my mothers were the same way, installing discipline in the things that you do, And I saw it, so I said, okay, but if I wanted to do an etiquette school, it wasn't going to happen. People were not going to accept it, So I said, okay, let's do a modeling agency, and we teach the girl professional etiquette and how to be professionals in the workplace. And that's where the kickoff with, So basically, that was the dream. And it started there, and it just grew. I formed Fifth Avenue Modeling Agency at the Le Méridien Royal Bahamian Hotel. That was in 87, 88, 80.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to remember the dates, And after Fifth Avenue Modeling Agency, I had a boutique there at the hotel because people weren't being able to give you clothing for the models and so forth to wear. People were damaging the clothing when they came back to the store who wasn't professional models. So I said, okay, the best thing for me to do is have my own boutique. So I opened my boutique. After that, the girls needed makeup, and I started Fifth Avenue Cosmetics. So we became like a one shop for everything. Etiquette, basic walk, professionalism, hygiene. And the most important thing that I really went to was reversing the aging process, I instilled in the girls to eat well and be able to take care of themselves, which is very, very important. If you want to be a model, you have to eat well. And a lot of the girls believed in it, and today's they look good. You understand? They're still in shape in terms of, Somebody who's like in their 35, in their 40s and have gained weight. No. Most of the girls who've been with me for over the years really are concerned about themselves, and that's proud to see that, When I've seen over the 50 plus to 100, from time to time, So that's good. And they always say to me, Kevin, I remember what you said, I eat well and so forth. So that was a dream for that, and it just grew. Then recently, but prior to that, Bahamas Fashion Week came about. So Bahamas Fashion Week was for me to incorporate the designers, because back then there was some really, really good Bahamian designers, And a few of them really wasn't getting the recognition I felt that they needed to. So Bahamas Fashion Week came about, and I struggled to get that, paid for that out of my pocket, because people just didn't believe in something like that. You understand? So it took a long time of pushing, and then Peter Nygaard was there, and I just made friends with the right persons at the right time, And it just took off, and I wanted him, and from there everybody copied Bahamas Fashion Week. You came in with this one wanted their own Fashion Week, this one wanted to do their own show, and it's okay. But what was so wrong about it is that people need to understand how to network. When you have a professional in the business who's created something, you should come to the professional and say, I would like to do this, you understand? But the mentality of wanting everything for yourself, and that's the wrong mentality, you know, when it's there for everybody to enjoy, you know, so it became a competition. And when you're 35, 40 years in the business, how could you compete with me? You understand my point? It's impossible, you know? Everything I did in terms of fashion shows, I was doing 15 to 20 fashion shows a week. For 7 years in this town, I built fashion in this town. You know, it was me who did it. And they couldn't compete with me, you know? When it was onto this, I was onto that. I was sketching my own designs, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I had the personality behind it, and that's what they didn't have, you know? They had a negative energy. The negative energy was directed at me when I was working, minding my own business and doing my own thing. You know, and that was the biggest shuffle and the biggest problem that we had in this local town, trying to prove to people, hey, I'm doing my own thing. You understand? And people just didn't like it. And, you know, so at the end of the day, it became a problem trying to really get sponsors for Bahamas Fashion Week. Because when we all should have been, I would say, belting together, you understand? It wasn't happening. It wasn't there. And then the good designers started dying off. This one dead, next one dead, drop off, you know? That's life. You understand my point? Yeah, you got to move on and boogie, you know? Yeah. But the key is that you can't be negative, you know? And I really want to stress that because it's negative energy that causes people to get into the position they're in terms of it to be able to do, you know? And that's what I try to stay away. And I've always been a positive person, you understand? And people always say, oh, you're so positive. I say, oh, you got a lot of energy. I say, use it positively, you know? And that's the key to life and to the universe, you understand? And that's one of the things that I'm all about is reversing the aging process, you know? I want to go back in time, you see? And you have to be able to, I would say, look at life and determine what it is that you want to do to carry you forward with the knowledge that you have, that you would be able to reverse because your body's designed to heal itself, and people ain't getting that. So that's another story, another topic, another day.
I want to break, like you just said, he just said a whole mouthful, and I want to break some of that down. So, to go a little, as you saying you want to reverse back, I want to go a little back. So, the importance, because you hit on some topics that I've discussed on this show before, like, of course, positive energy, but you were stressing like eating well. How did you, like, what was, at what point did you figure out, hey, I should eat like this, and as well as, take it into modeling, and like, really show people how to self-care for themselves, and not even just models, but people just in general.
Well,
and,
Okay, I understand, yeah. I'll tell you what it started with me. I always, when I was at St. Francis Davis, there was a Jamaican, I remember a Jamaican teacher, and she taught me track and field, you know. And she taught me how to jump, high jump, long jump. She was really, really good. And she liked me and I liked her, and I took a liking to her. Because I was a very quiet person and always to myself, you know, yeah. And by the time I would get off from school and walk down the hill to Market Street to get home, Mom wasn't home yet from work. So I would go in the back of the yard. We had guava. Man, we had carrots. Mom would plant stuff. We were like farmers, all right? Yeah. So everything was in the backyard. All the native fruits and so forth. And then through the entire corner, my godmother lived across the street, so she had a sapodilly, a big sapodilly tree. So right in that area, there was always local fruits. You know, when I say local Bahamian fruits that you could pick on and you can eat, you know? Yeah, you can walk from the end of the corner, go down. Miss Brown had almond and so forth. So by the time I got home, whatever there was on the tree around, I was unfilled with that, you understand? Yeah, and that's what it was. Mama come and she said, yeah, you hungry? I said, no, what you ate? I said, rabbit food. She said, yeah, rabbit food, I know what you ate. But that was me. Then I started having migraine headaches and took me to the doctor, and the doctor said I need to watch what I eat in terms of red meat and all the other stuff, you know, at an early age, you know. I started with 13 years old having migraine headaches and used to pass out and black out. So I just kind of like catch the regiment, you know what I mean, of eating well from then. Okay. You understand me? Yeah. And what it is that I never really liked red meat because it wasn't good for me. And as I start to study and get an understanding of the body and nutrition and so forth, I learned that was bad. You know, I learned that America couldn't feed itself about 20 years ago. That they were cloning meat and animals, and now so the information came about 15, 17 years. So I had, knowledge, I have information on knowledge and all this stuff, you know, over the years and so forth in terms of how to eat well the meat, and I just kind of kept it. And I work with the modeling agency, but one of the things with people is that I hear a lot, and I keep telling them, I don't like water. The body is 75% water, and I think that is dumb and stupid, especially when women say, oh, I don't like water, I don't drink water. And then you wonder why you're so big and fat, because you're sucking all the soda, you understand my point, the carbonated sugar. You know, that's another thing you're putting into your body, you know?
Yeah, I never understood, water don't have no taste. I'm like, if you really drink water and you drink like alkaline water, you taste the difference.
Absolutely, yeah. You see my point, right? Because you have to look at the pH balance. You see my point? So you want to go alkaline. You know, anything below that, you're putting basically acid into the body. Yeah. So like white bread and white rice, you know, things like that, like white potatoes would turn to acid in the body. I refuse to eat them. You know, every so often I eat a French fry and so forth because I cleanse and you balance your body out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the thing about it is I be very disciplined in terms of what I eat, you know? So I have a regimen that I stick to. that I don't bother with. And I don't eat junk food. I don't eat GMOs, potato chips and all that stuff. No, that's not me.
That's good. That's good. And then that's why I think I realized that when I met you, and then it was like, how old you say you wasn't? like because it's like people. I mean worldwide, but like we in the Bahamas, like we don't really understand self-care.
Yeah.
That's something that I
Discipline,
take.
maintenance. Look around. Look at the buildings around you. Look at the buildings. If we really believed in maintenance, the buildings would be maintained and our bodies would be maintained the same way. Because it's possible. You get a cut, you're going to heal. The body's designed to heal itself.
Yeah.
So why not allow the body to heal itself naturally and take care of the body? It's synchronicity of the mind, the body, and the soul. And I understood it when I was 16, 17 years old, and I held on to it. The mind, this is the body and the soul, synchronicity. The three, must come to a light at the top. And if you ain't getting that light, then you're not in touch with the universe, People get caught up into a lot of different things. They get caught up into, it's beyond tribalization, you understand? It's beyond law. It's beyond politics, It's the universe, it's the cosmos. So that's where the really, really intelligent people are in terms of, you understand? Yeah, look at the world, look what's happening right now. Yeah.
Like I always tell people, okay, like imagine you could get any car, like today you get any car.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's say you get a Bugatti and you're gonna keep this car until you die.
Right.
You're gonna maintain that car.
Right.
You're gonna make sure the oil change, everything change,
Right.
you're gonna change out the paint, you're gonna change the tires.
Yes.
That car is your body, man.
Absolutely.
So you gotta take care of it. That's the
That's
only
the
one
truth.
you got.
But you see, but they don't look at the body. They look at that car and say, that car, what you just said, is my body.
Yeah.
And that's why they treat that car like their body. You understand my point?
Yeah.
You see the energy?
Yeah.
They divert. You see they're working from the wrong end. You have to understand the 7 chakras of the body, and they definitely working from the wrong end, So anytime, you see, I give you honest with you. At my age, I look at people like this. There's only 3 kind of people in the world, And you have the average, which when you say, the average person don't understand. Then you have the below average. If the average person don't understand the below average, forget it. You see my point? So it's the above average, So we're the above average people. That's what I want to deal with, Elevate yourself to be an above average person. You understand? If the average person don't understand it, you see my point?
Yeah.
Why should I be bothered with the below average? Yes.
That's true.
Why waste your time? You see?
Yeah.
And all of this negative energy. You see, people attract into their space the things that they do. The things that you think about are the things that are happening to you because you attract them into your space. People should work on their own projects and leave other people's business alone and be able to develop themselves. God made all of us in the image and likeness of Him. The image, what is image? They don't understand. The likeness, right? That we could think, you follow? God is like us.
Yeah. So back to the further up to what you said earlier, the positive energy. Keeping everything positive. I mean, it's like I be going around. Besides having conversations with you, I have conversations with other like people that been in different industries here in this town. It's just like you hear all kind of horror stories about. This one stabbed me in the back with this.
Yeah,
This
right.
one
Right.
do this.
Right.
We're supposed to do this together, and they
Right.
go and do this. I'm like, why this gotta happen?
Right,
Like,
because they don't know who they're riding with. You see, you have to know who you're riding with. You're going to hop in the car with a stranger?
No.
Let me tell you, when I first went to school in Georgia, I was 13 years old. And my mom sent me to my aunt in West Palm Beach. And then she said, son, you're going to have to take a bus all the way in there because no plane flying to the airport for nobody to pick you up. You understand? So from West Palm Beach, I had to take the bus over Jacksonville. You've been in Georgia, right?
yeah, I lived in Atlanta for
Okay,
5
into
years.
Douglas.
Yeah.
You ever Douglas in Macon County?
Yeah.
Douglas, Coffee County? Yeah, okay, so that's where I went to high school.
Okay.
So
So you lived in Macon, Georgia, or close to?
I was in Coffee County.
Okay.
Yeah. But I had to take the bus, because there's no planes to fly in.
Into
And this was in
Macon.
the 70s. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So, and she said, son, you're going to meet a lot of strangers on the bus. Hi, hello, and goodbye. Don't hurt nobody. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. And the thing about it is, when you're riding, I learned who you're riding with. And when people say you're riding with, you could ride with strangers. So if you're riding with a stranger, you got to know how far to go. You understand? Because that person is a stranger. So the thing, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Everybody say, oh yeah, I got your back. Who really got your back? Only you got your back. You see, you need to know who it is in life you're dealing with and who you move. You say? Yeah. And I tell you again, it's negative energy. When you pull that negative energy into your space, you know what I mean? If you're not a person who could be able to read somebody and see what it's all about to be able to do, you understand? Then I'm sorry, you're going down. If something happened like that, then they could throw the game on you,
Yeah. Because I was talking to one of my friends the other day. It's like you gotta ask for discernment. Like you gotta see who is you know, the wolves are in the sheep.
But you see what you say? Yeah, that's true. But you say, ask. If you have synchronicity, the mind, body, and soul within you, you will see it. Because that's the God-given light. And people keep missing the point, you know? People talk about religion, and you got the... Man, I wouldn't even go to religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only one God, you know? And there's only one way to tap in synchronicity, the mind, the body, and the soul. You know, people say, oh man, I'm so pure, I go to church, and I go to church every day. And then the next day, the things they do, the sinful things they do, you understand, to their soul. You understand my point? They sell their soul. You follow? Yeah. So go into church every day, and the next day selling your soul. You know? Ain't about that, Papa. You understand? Ain't about that.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you said, okay, after you started the modeling agency, so after the fashion week, where did you transition to?
Well,
after?
yeah, that's a good question. After fashion week and the Meridian was sold to sandals. So I had a contract there at the boutique and so forth at the Meridian at the time. This was like the 80s, rounding up late, in the 80s. And so they bought my contract. And as soon as they bought my contract, I started getting jobs with a production company in New York City that was coming down here to do commercials for the Ministry of Tourism. Because I was modeling part-time in New York City, you know? So I had this lady coming down, and she was from Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Ruth Herlock, yeah. And she came down and she investigated. She said, oh, okay, you have good radio voice. She said, okay, I like your personality. You know the islands and so forth very well. She said, okay, let's hook you up. So they had several shoots and so forth through the Ministry of Tourism and some on their own where they came down and did water campaigns and so forth, yeah. For the kids, you know, the Nickelodeon station? Yeah. So I worked with her and I started the Inter-Island production since then. And my name got around in New York City, you know, yeah, because I was in school in New York, you know. I was modeling in New York part-time. And I also had a good radio voice, as they say. And once you got a good radio voice in New York City, you understand, that's hard to come along, you know. You listen to these scraps on the radio here. Because I was supposed to go and, you know, so it's a lot I was doing, you know. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I was a really busy person, you know. I had friends who would say, man, Kevin, there's a gig happening here, come go with me. And I would go with them. And when I step up, they say, man, we need an extra, come on. And I would just help. You know, and that's how I really got thrown into the business, to be able to have the knowledge and communications and backgrounds and movies and so forth. It's just from volunteering, I tell you the truth, you know, yeah. And that's why people have to be positive and give a good energy in times, because you'd be amazed, you know, what it is that you would learn and the people that you would meet, you know. And having the modeling agency, and it just took from when I was production companies that I was meeting, because they were cameramen, you know. Before it was just my photographer taking pictures of the models in the fashion show. So now I was able to bring my clothing, the models, and the makeup over into production world. So Inter-Island production actually started with that, you see here. And then what happened after that, I got movies through the Ministry of Tourism. I was in After the Sunset. I had a dance part with my ex-wife in there. I was a production secretary first and set up the office for After the Blue. That was with Pez Brosnan and Selma Hayek. Can't remember the date. I was a key makeup artist on Casino Royale 21. I worked with Eon Production. That was Casino Royale, the company. I worked with them several occasions. There was Into the Blue. They tried to keep me at Into the Blue, but they didn't know that I'm a chef. And that's when I see what people would do to get on the movie business in this town. You understand?
I think that's what people would do just to get in anything. I don't understand it, man. Like, you don't have to cut meat to get up,
Cut,
like,
boy,
you know,
look at cut meat spread eagle, boy. I tell you, sell the soul. By that time under my belt, I was a voiceover for the Ministry of Tourism for the Fly Getaway commercials. Man, look here. I was doing so much at that time. So here it is. You got this guy in the Bahamas who have all this experience from New York City modeling and so forth, you know? And you're trying to cut him out of a movie that he's been recognized by top-notch guys, you know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Producers, you know what I mean? Gave me all kind of resume, you know? Yeah, from LA, from New York City. And here it is, they cut me out. So I say, okay, what you got open? You know? And he said, the only thing we got is craft, buddy. I say, I'll take craft. Man, look here, my favorite group, because you know, I tell us cook my own food.
Yeah.
I tell them eat out. Man, I dropped some recipes on them. They was on the boat list. I say, yeah, and I stuck them with the price. Yeah, $1,500 a day. You know what I mean? And then after that, let me tell you what happened. Yeah, some people in Skyline, Delhi. You know what I mean? Yeah, I call the name because I tell you, yeah, they get a little wing of it. You know, and they work their way on the white boys. You understand where I'm from? Who was doing the dough wine and dine them. And after 2.5 weeks, I was out of there. You see, but at the time I was tired. I was tired driving all the way from the Hank with South Beach all the way out to where was it, South Ocean. Early in the morning, I had to be there to make breakfast for 6 o'clock and to have lunch ready for 12 o'clock. you know? So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was on the road, you understand? Yeah, and trying to find fresh things throughout the day. So after 2 weeks, I find myself following up the road. I say, you know what? That's a good piece of salary for that type of time, you understand? Yeah. And then right after that, they called me, Fallon Worldwide called me for the Ministry of Tourism. And I started voiceovers, you know, so it's been a roll. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, you understand? Ever since I put foot back in this island from New York City, I've been really busy. And that's why I say the things that you want to do and to be positive and to have them come true, the dreams that you create in your head, you can make it all come to life, you understand? Yeah, you can do it, I did it. You know, whatever I dreamt of, whatever I wanted, I went for it, you know, and I did it, you know, and it was there to do. And I had to fight a lot of people, you understand? You know what I had to fight them for? I had to fight them for my own me exactly what it is. You understand my point? When I say me, my space and me. And that's what it was. You know that kind of way? When you have a dream and things that you want to do and they try to move you out of your space and everybody have a space, you know? Yeah. So that's why I have to be careful who you let in that space. You know, the Chinese are very smart in terms of ancient knowledge about these certain things, you know? And this is why the Chinese don't shake hands and they don't get too close. They stare and they bow because we all have an aura around us, you understand? And you have to know who comes into that space. And this is where people get all caught up into the negative energy and so forth because they allow people to come into their space. You see? So you got to watch what you pull into your space, you know? Yeah. It's that
I
halo.
never thought about that like that.
Yeah, you see? So when you get synchronicity, the mind, the body, and the soul, I bring it back to because people really don't understand it. You see? You got that bang going on around you. You follow me? You got the halo, and that's your space. You follow?
Yeah.
You understand? Now, some people have the knowledge and they try to show it out there in movies and production, and you have to be careful what you watch. You have to be careful what tattoos you put onto your body, you know? And you've seen sometime a guy has this electric thing all around him and so forth. You never seen comic, you know?
Are you talking about like in like cartoons where they have electricity?
And it's all around them and so forth, you know? Yeah.
Right.
But you have to be able to see through it and read through it and get an understanding of what it is because in the production world, you know, they show you a lot of stuff, but it's hidden in movies, you know? So you just have to, you know, you got to be knowledgeable and, you know.
I don't know what the electric stuff mean.
What it means?
Yeah.
No, it's a halo. It's a light that is around
Oh,
us.
you're talking about just like aura?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you see? Yeah. But
so on that
I mean,
note, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back to you on the next end of Erryting Kool. Hello.
Good to be back.
And we're back. So, Kevin, that's powerful what you just spoke about, you know, the different like energy and, you know, like that's very insightful, especially with the Chinese thing, like, you know.
Oh,
like,
yeah, man.
I've got to start bowing people. I ain't shaking nobody else.
Mine is a knowledge. You got to be a knowledge seeker. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what's happening. There's a lot of things out there, you know? Yeah, and you can't spend your time being negative, you know? Yeah. You attract negative energy, you see? Yeah. And the positive people in the life and so forth is there, you know, for you to be creative and to do the things that you would like to do. You understand? And you have to unite and connect, trying to say the two at the same time, you know? And that's important, you know what I mean? Yeah. Be united with somebody, you know, but be honest and fair. You know, if you want somebody to treat you well, you have to be honest. And that makes sense?
Yeah.
If you want to be respected, you have to be honest, you know? If you come to somebody and you disrespect them and you're not honest, how do you expect to get honesty?
That's so powerful.
You know? Yeah.
So, let's get into, like, you know, the more latter parts of your commercial work, and then we're going to get into your jewelry making.
I tell you, I took almost 10 years off from work, and as 2007, I got a call. I was on the Eon production, Casino Royal, over at Ocean Club on Paradise Island. And my niece, who is like my daughter, they call and tell me, say she died, had a heart attack, and I was doing makeup. So makeup on the set. I was working on the set then, and boy, I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. No, man, you sure? My sister said, yeah. I said, where are you at the hospital? And it didn't set in. And I went to French. That was the guy who hired me, the key makeup artist for James Bond. He travels all around the world and so forth. And I explained to him what happened. He said, oh, I appreciate it. He said, don't worry, we'll pay you off on the contract and don't bother to come back. You know what I mean? I understand how it is. He said, I know you ain't coming back. I said, yeah. And he said to me, he said, when we're in the region, we'll call you and so forth to do. And I said, okay. And I went to the hospital and my niece had died. And I took time off from there. And right after that, 8 months later, my mother died. 3 months after that, my sister died. So I had like 9 deaths in 7 years, ending with my niece, Therese Hibburn. So trying to get over the grieving and, you know what I'm saying, all the pain and what have you, the suffering. Because when you really, really love somebody and they pass, you have to get an understanding of what it is. That's an adjustment in your life. And thank God that I wasn't employed for nobody. I've been always self-employed. So the time it took for me to heal and to go through that process of understanding, you know what I mean, why so many people died or they came to that point, you know, where I had to lose them. It took about 10 years, you know, it took 10 years. And through the grieving and the understanding and, you know, going through life and emotion and understanding what it's all about, I came over, I needed therapy. And the therapy I got was the seeds in my yard, the Ponciana seeds, the canap seeds. Because remember now, I told you, we had all these trees in our yard, and the tamarind seeds, and the seeds. And I look at the seeds, and they say, man, Kevin, you got to start now. You know, you got to do something, you know? And I just started with the jewelry. It was a jewelry for me to do because I was collecting the beads and I was drying them out. They were pretty. You know, after I ate the canap seeds and I ate the tamarind seeds, I said, man, look at it. The colors was coming. You know, that darkness was kind of fading. You understand? Yeah, it was moving away, you know, because there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of stuff you have to go through, you know. You have to really want to understand. And I like to understand what it is I'm going through in life. You know, yeah. Every problem has a solution, but you must face the problem and have an understanding of what it is that you're going through. You know, people run from things and they run into drugs, they run into alcohol, but you don't mind helping somebody if they would only be able to explain, you know, and that's one of the problems that we have in the criminal justice system with young men. They're unable to explain themselves, and I want to be able to just, you know, make a little comment in reference to that. So when explaining situation and express yourself in a way that people would be able to understand, you know? So you have to find a way, how do I be able to calm my nerve and express myself and take a good understanding of what it is that I'm going through and look at the situation. And then another thing, people don't listen. You know, you have to listen to somebody first and you're able to respond to them correctly. If you don't listen to what it is that they're saying, then obviously you're not going to make that contact, you know? And it's called the customer connection. And that's what I believe in. And I look at the customer connection, and that's why people say you can sell sand to the beach, because I make the customer connection. You know, I connect and understanding what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want, you know? And over the years, like I said, being in fashion with the makeup and the models and so forth, I've seen a lot of jewelry. I used to model jewelry back in the day in New York. Effie Jewelers, downtown Bay Street, that's a friend of mine from New York City who has a store down there.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of jewelry, you know, over the years and so forth, and I like jewelry. So I decided, okay, jewelry would be the thing, you know, but I want to do something different that nobody's doing. Real jewelry with Bahamian seeds. And I started. And obviously, because I've been picking the seeds out of the yard over the period of time, I had a lot of seeds that was already drawn off, you know, dried out, and, you know, it was just there. And so I just took advantage of it and started with the jewelry, and it just led from one thing to the next, you know. And then I had people who was, oh, wow, where'd you get that? And, you know, and it just took off. It just took off, you know, yeah. And that's basically what it is. And like I said, I do a lot of trade shows. I get a lot of response. Most of my clients, 65%, is American tourists, you know, who buy my jewelry. And that's proud to see that, you know, because on Facebook, I see where they try to get other persons who sell jewelry to contact me to host my line, you know, so it's really good, yeah. As a matter of fact, 21 Magazine is coming on stream, and they're doing a whole article on all my jewelry and me. And that's about to take place in the next 2.5 months.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it's a good comeback after, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's been a long time, you know, but the thing about it is I have the knowledge and I would like to help people, but people go about it the wrong way. You understand? Yeah, you see, you can't come to me. If I feel your energy is negative, you better come clean. You understand? Because what I dealing with, I could read you right away. You know? I could read you, just look at you and see the negative energy pouring off you. You know? And that's why I have to be very careful in times. I say it's all about space, you know? And until people understand the universe and be fair to it. You see, because the universe is there to help you. You remember The Secret? You ever been talking about The Secret? Oprah did it on a show. You remember there was a book and they talk about the secret and so forth. And all it is, a simple thing, is focusing on yourself. You know?
The secret is focus. I like that. The secret is focusing on yourself.
That's what it is, you know? You want to free yourself? Then get into a project and leave other people's business alone. You know what I mean? Yeah. March, be that Christian soldier behind the things that you want to do. But when you stop to talk to somebody, it's like an arrow. You understand? And the arrows have been shot at everybody every day. The Bible will tell you that. You understand? But when you stop, you get the arrow. And if you don't know how to heal yourself, buddy, you get another one. You become wounded. You know what the arrow is? Negative. The tongue. You know? And see, I love the Roman Catholic, you know. But a lot of things happen and people have the different... Well, I don't go to church. I pray to God, but I don't believe in going to church anymore like that. I'll tell you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, but I pray to God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I read my Bible, and it's about knowledge, you know? And one thing to say with the creed of the Roman Catholic, forgive me, Father, in my mind and my thoughts. So before it comes to the tongue, to be a weapon against somebody or whatever, my mama would say, control what you say in your thoughts. You see? Yeah. So if you're intelligent enough to control what you say in your thoughts, and you have to be a really fast thinker and have your knowledge to be able to know not to allow it come to your tongue. See? So people who really, you know, are negative and say things because they cannot, back again what I was telling you earlier, if they cannot express themselves, you see, be able to explain things in a nice way, then they use obscene language. You follow? So it's to be able to think in advance, you know, and to think fast. And we all have the knowledge, you know, to use more than 10% of our brain. But the average person don't want to do that. You see? Yeah. So I say, why be bothered with the below average? Understand? Let's get into intelligence. You know what I mean? If you can operate the smartphone and you have all the gadgets that's happening right now in terms of the internet, you know, why not transfer that into your brain and be positive in reference to?
You might as well. Like, you know.
Huh?
Because like I always tell people, like, hey, you say you don't know something, it's like you be on your phone all day.
Thank you very
Go
much.
Look,
That's the truth.
Look it up on YouTube. Go look it up,
Yeah.
research.
And the vendors, when I tell people I work with, are artisans, they want to call themselves artisans, but you're an artist if you make your own stuff and you do good quality work. Understand? If you do tacky work to push on people, then you're a vendor. You understand?
Yeah.
With bad products. But when you're selling something, know what that is. When you put a tattoo on your body, understand that tattoo that you're putting on your body. Signs and symbols, know what it is. You know? And that's what people aren't doing. You know? So the key to right now, what I would like to do is enter island production, get that kicking in with commercials. You know, I have a wonderful background knowledge in the modeling agency with fashion, with cosmetics, and you and I can work together on some projects, you know. I see you got a camera and so forth. With my knowledge, we can come together and get Inter Island production up and running, you know, because that's what it's all about. It's about making that money and being able to give quality service. You know, because you need to make the money. Everybody has to find something to do, you know, and people have to pay. One of the problems is in the past with the modeling agencies, I've helped a lot of people they didn't want to pay, you know. So now you can get quality work, but you have to pay, you know. It won't be expensive, you know. The fact of the matter is that you can get quality production now from both of us in terms of commercials, voiceovers, you know, with the modeling agency to be able to, I would say, don't you think so? I would say to promote your business, you know, written commercial, you have the knowledge and background in production and so forth from Atlanta. You went to school for production, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. With my knowledge in terms of I didn't go to school for that, but I have a lot of knowledge, you know, and I what you say, I've proven myself. You understand? I have a proven track record, you know, 35, 40 years in the business. You understand? Yeah, you want me with all the papers and show you all the things back then. But I keep scraps, you know, Scraps are important. You know what scraps are? Scraps in my life from the Tribunes over the years allow me to go back and remember to be able to refresh myself, you know, because a lot of people, I only remember one person because we stay in touch over the Facebook from college, basically, only one, you know, and I've had a lot of friends because you meet a lot of people over the years, you know, So you understand, and if people, and if you it all go, and then again, it's back to who you are. It's that energy. You know, so if you and person have grown because the energy is different, then, you know, it's life, you know, you grow apart every day. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's nothing made bounding. You know, if you want to make it, relationships, you have to work on it, you know? Just like a project, you have to work on it. You know, you have to work on yourself. You know, what are you going to do every day when you get up with this beautiful God? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying to you? What are you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's about you. You know, it's your life, you know? You're going to make it good or you're going to make it bad. You know what I'm saying? Get up, man. Get up, everybody. You know what I mean? Make it good.
Get up, get out, and get something.
Yes, man. Yeah, you understand? Get up, even if it's a hustle. You know what I mean? You ain't hurting nobody and it's a good hustle. Get your hustle on, you know? Yes, man. Get it out there. I've done it. And I'm ready to do it again. And do it again because right now, like I said, I'm into reversing the aging process and I don't want to get old. You know, I'm doing the right things. You know, I'm eating the right stuff. I'm thinking positive. I'm exercising and so forth. And all the things that you need to do. Synchronicity of the mind, the body, and the soul, and cleanse and get on that right track. And that's what I've been doing all my life. And I've gone through something, like I said, with the debts. And yeah, that's beyond. You got to have an understanding of that. You know, the kind of way. And time to boogie again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Time to boogie. Yeah, time to do some good commercials, some good works and so forth. Get the fashion show up and running again. Open the modeling agency, you know, get the production going. I used to do all the regattas with the fashion shows in the Family Islands. And I've contacted a lot of people and they say, Kevin, send us a picture. Facebook said, oh man, you got to change your your profile picture. I said, for what? I still look the same.
I think I saw you posted on Facebook the other day.
They keep getting in your business, you know what I mean? Yeah,
So,
you know? Yeah, man, okay, you put a picture up right now, you understand where I'm coming from, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about in terms of reversing the aging process. You understand my point? Yeah, synchronicity of the mind, the body and soul, eating well, you know?
Maybe people can't say that though.
Huh?
Say, I put a picture up 5 years ago. I can't change it. I still look the same.
But you know what? Because you see, they into all these different images and soul searching and they ain't getting it. You see the concept? That's what we just talk about the light and so forth. You see, they ain't getting it. They from the wrong end. So when you understand what you're dealing with, right? You could correct that problem, but they understand it's out there. It's so much stuff. You saw Miley Cyrus' latest performance. My God, she did a piece of art, man. I tell you, it's out there. It's there. What could you say? It's the world.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, man, it's the world. So my jewelry, back to that. It's all about tamarind seeds and Ponciana seeds, canap seeds, shells that go on the beach. I find them, I drill them, I wrap them. Pirate glass, everybody copying. They're always copying me, you know what I mean? Anybody with a tight pants and bright shoes like want to copy. You know what I'm saying? Come to me and say, oh, I would like to work with you. I would like to use something, your name and company. I will look it over and I say, okay, fine, bang, but you go behind my back. It's still monkeys. That's what I call them. And they don't like it when I call them monkeys, but they're monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do. So I'm to the point now, let's teach the monkey how to commit suicide.
I was like, what? So we're back, it's a different location, but Erryting Kool is hashtag the traveling part, and we're out here.
That's right. That's a production world, eh? Inter-Island Productions on flow. Show you how we're going to drop it for you, all right?
Yeah, so we're here celebrating Independence Day. We're at Kevin's table.
And we're celebrating Independence Day. Well, I'm part of the activities department celebrating the Independence Day. And this is what I do. I'm able to display my merchandise, my Bahamian things to the tourists. And this is how they invite you to come on down to be a part of the event. So this is what it's all about. And I'm going to show you my jewelry, all pieces that I made from seeds, like I spoke about earlier, things indigenous to the Bahamas. So you're going to get a chance to see some red snapper, fish scales, earrings. It's really interesting, and so you're going to get a chance to see it. All right, thank you.
Yeah. So this was we at the table. Like we actually we're gonna cut the B-roll when we finish wrapping this, so you can see the different pieces and things like that. We shaking it up different here on
Independence Day. Yeah, I wanted to wrap and show you. Yeah, we're going to wrap the show up right now,
Yeah,
we talked a lot. I gave you some information in terms of the universe and what I'm into in terms of travel and time and space and where I'm headed with my life. And it's all about being positive, working towards one another to be able to pull your goals through and bring them to fruition. In addition to that, there's all about the modeling agency, my experience in terms of the makeup, the fashion, the cosmetics, and how I got here. But it's all about production work. It's all about Inter-Island production. And Inter-Island production is on its way up again. We're going to be doing some wonderful things. And people who really need good commercials, downtown stores, jewelry, all that's going to be available to you with the experience of models, 30, 20 years experience, So I'm back to cater to everybody within the fashion industry, within the production world. You want quality things, we're here to give it to you in the Bahamas, and not just in terms of locals. I'm talking about inter-island production, people who are coming here and need to know somebody who know the islands of the Bahamas very well and can take you and can assist you with getting that commercial, exactly what it is that you want. Those nice, perfect, beautiful, serene beaches and beautiful models and nice smiles and commercials. It's all about commercials, If you want to work, it's about commercial, That's it. When you come to the Bahamas, you want to experience the Bahamas. You want to experience the things that we have to offer. And that's why my things is indigenous to Bahamas. If you were to go to Jamaica, you would experience Jamaica. You follow? So in the Bahamas, do as the Bahamians do and experience Bahamian-made craft. Quality stuff. It must be quality stuff that you're going to produce, Not quantity, it must be quality. And at the end of the day, I produce a quality stuff. I take my time and I put out quality. And that's what I believe in being able to do. And when people see that you're taking your time and putting out quality, then they would like to invite you to be a part. And then you have manners and you're respectful. And, I'm a really cool person to get along with. I love the tourists. I love my Bahamian people. But at the end of the day, it's all about being positive. So put me in an environment where I can talk to positive people. I'm gone,
Yeah,
that's a day. Yeah,
So where can people find you and your work? Like, social media handles, websites?
Well, the social, go to, interislandproductions.webs.com. That's my website for the Inter-Island production. I'm looking to produce a lot of things for that. There's also bahamasbeautyschool.webs.com.
Okay.
And Bahamas Beauty School is the etiquette part. Like I said, I really wanted to form an etiquette company, and I did that through the modeling agency. So it's now Bahamas Beauty School. We're just not modeling, but it takes on the whole approach to life and health and nutrition and, your outcome and being positive. And that's what it is, Yeah, it's something, it's totally different. It's like I said, it's 35 years of experience that I created. I developed it, I would take, and people would talk, from Baintown. I don't care where you're at, we're all human beings, And I've taken some beautiful girls from areas like Baintown, Camp Road, and man, they're supermodels, And today they have career jobs and they have families and what have you. You understand?
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. You know what I mean? I know what I've done. They know what I've done for them. So it's nobody else's business. You understand? Yeah. Once you come into the Fifth Avenue umbrella, you're going to shine, buddy. You understand? Yeah. You're coming out of it unless you don't want to learn anything. All right? Okay. All right.
So that wraps up another episode of Erryting Kool. Kevin, thank you for joining me on my podcast.
No problem.
However, we celebrating independence like this just in the morning time. I'm about to go love myself.
I want you to take a little scan with the camera too. Come a little closer on some things you could see.
Yeah, of course.
This is a red snapper.
Okay.
Fish scale. That's right.
Hold
He was
on,
4
what?
feet long. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
you
one of
put
the things.
some coating on it or something?
No coating, no, just tried it, but it's amazing what you can do here. You know,
Yeah,
this is just a
right.
part of my collection that I brought out. But in terms of things that is out there in the sea,
Okay.
and the time I took off the 10 years, I have a lot of things that I found. You know, that was interesting. I look at it, I have an artistic eye, and if I got a keen eye for it and wrapping it to say that could be fashionable, then I take it. And that's exactly what I do. And this here's bamboo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's bamboo, you know. Yeah.
All right.
Diet painted. So, you know, it's the time. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you want to produce at the end of the day? You understand? Saying be positive, produce something that people can purchase, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So-
pan.
You know what it is. It's Lord Jaylin Willard again on the next episode of Erryting Kool. And see y'all next time. Yeah, you see.